riding the school bus was insane by cheats.
It was.
It really
school
was.
Bus.
It
It's not
really
just
was.
transportation. It's a test of patience, endurance, and occasionally your sense of smell. Everyone's got
Facts.
stories, and everyone remembers the cast of characters you'd only find on the yellow prison on wheels. Today we're diving into the chaotic, loud, and downright bizarre world of this school bus.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I hated football. I'm explaining what this got to do. When I got in football and I had football PE,
7th period. You gotta run. First of all, sometimes you're a little behind, so you gotta run to the bus. Second of all, you're sweating. There's no time for a
you
shower.
don't know what I used to suck? What used to suck? They used to remember once football season is over, you still had football PE 7th period.
Yeah.
Having to go from football PE to the bus smelling like donkey ass.
Donkey, like boo.
Boy, I used to hate.
That was one of the reasons I left.
I used to hate getting off the bus after. I'm like, bro, I smell terrible.
Bad. Horrible.
The moment those doors swing open, you're greeted with that all too familiar smell. A mix of old gym socks, crusty lunches, and something else that would make you question if the bus has ever been fucking cleaned. You walk down that narrow aisle and you're immediately faced with the daily dilemma. Where to sit? It's not just about a seat, it's about survival. If you got the wrong seat, you end up sitting next to the wrong person. And that wrong person can just ruin your day before.
I ain't gonna lie, I was a sea hog.
You hogging the whole seat.
Boy, backpack right there, headphones
Yep,
on.
I was too. Well, the bus wasn't that super full. My route wasn't super full, so it was easy.
I'm in that big cool.
Before it's even started.
Chilling.
Whether that would be smelling horrible, like, they didn't shower.
I discovered Dave Chappelle
music
on the
that's
bus.
playing way too loud. They're arguing with someone and you have to overhear their conversation. Or in my case, this is a real photo taken from me back when I was in high school on the school bus. I would wake up and I went on the bus one day and there was this guy sitting in front of me and he had this greasy ass man bun that extended from his seat over to mine. So I was facing his man bun the entire morning, and I don't know how to navigate that circumstance. What do I gotta touch it, get it out of my face? But then that's like, well, he's like, why are you touching me? It's like, oh, I don't want to start shit. And this was an extra big problem because I would often lean into the seat in front of me to sleep. Not very comfortable, but when you're waking up,
The window wasn't comfortable. But
Boy,
that
head
right there.
Bro, the window
Knocked out.
Bro, sleeping on the window used to feel like sleeping in World War VI.
And the hard ass, the ridges. You put that head right there. You gone.
You coolin'.
Gone.
up at 6 a.m. on 2 hours of nothing, no sleep because you've been up studying and like a Red Bull, then yeah, you're gonna your body's gonna make yourself fall asleep.
I'm not even
in the back,
gonna
it's
lie.
pure anarchy. This is where the loudest kids reign supreme,
the
blasting their
fights.
music so loud you can hear it 3 seats away, even with your own earbuds in. And it's 7 a.m., 6 a.m. at this point. You hate it, and it's also usually the worst music imaginable, like shit you hear all the time, but he's still playing it for some reason. It's that NPC music that you've become hateful of because it's you hear it everywhere.
NPC, what the N stand for?
Oh, what the N stand for?
You're not saying non-playable characters.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Niggas playing classics.
In the morning, I used to be glad the bus ride was taking a long time because it means the longer the bus ride is, the longer I'm not at school. I enjoy the morning ride because I'm like, I don't want to get off right now, bro.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I used to be cruising, bro. When I had the most fun is when everybody was 11th and 12th grade. When I had to go to the career center.
I was driving
Bro, I'm going to the career center. I'm cooling. I'm chilling. Everything great.
Oh, because you was leaving early and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That shit was pressure, bro.
Specifically curate a playlist to make your ears bleed at 7 a.m. It's just too early for this, but apparently that guy didn't get the memo. Although that's annoying, it's still relatively normal behavior. Playing music is a normal human thing. What is not normal is something that I experienced back in elementary school, was a child on the bus would repeatedly bang his head against the seat in front of him for no reason at all. Now, you might be asking, is this guy on the spectrum? Is he autistic?
Right.
What made him do this, right? No. Literally, he would bang his head against the seat in front of him. No explanation, no context, just pure unfiltered
I think he just
weirdness.
liked
You think he's listening
I
to
think it was his fidget. That was his version of fidgets. Unless he was rocking out.
Low key, man, he was probably. I hate this place.
Yeah.
I hate.
Unless he was like smashing.
Huh? Was you a school hater?
Yeah.
I hated school.
Unless I was in a time period where I had a crush on somebody and I couldn't wait to see that person, then it was just like any other kid. I don't want to be here, bro.
I hated school so much, bro.
It wasn't like with a passion, but it was like
I remember my first day of school. I got a whipping.
Right.
I held on to
the
bar.
What bars?
At my apartment complex, like you got bars, railing. I held on the railing and wouldn't let go.
Oh my God.
I was like, I don't want to go.
Oh, like the first day of like actual, like when you was little.
Yeah. I got bro, that first week was, I remember that whole first week. Mm-hmm. That first day, I got a whipping. Second day, I hopped across the table and beat up a kid. Got a whipping.
Oh my God.
Third day, I got a whipping, but it was something I ain't do. And I ended up getting ice cream.
A kid on your bus would lick a window. Ugh.
I don't think he made it this far in life. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Heavy metal or something. He's just in his own world, thudding away like he's participating in Morse code with his forehead. It wasn't the entire bus ride either. It would just happen kind of randomly. It was like physical Tourette's almost. Some more normal behavior that's also coincidentally insufferable. We have the teacher's pet and the bus driver's best friend who are in deep conversation with the driver like they're on a podcast. Nice. These dudes sit in the front just to chirp with the bus driver. And honestly, like, you know, I don't even hate these people. I think teacher's pet is different. I think bus driver's pet is necessary. You know, we don't want the driver crashing out.
Bro.
Literally, I guess. But hey, these people
riz
up the bus drivers. What they do is they sit up in front. They talk about anything from last night's homework to the bus driver's personal life, you know, his plans for the weekend, you know, all that stuff. Only problem is when that kid gets preferential treatment in whatever form that can exist on the bus. I don't know if y'all ever had that. I personally didn't, but there was, in some cases, I know people were forced to swap seats, and there was like assigned seating and stuff on some buses. And I think if you were the bus driver's best friend, you could probably bend the rules a little bit when it came to that sort of stuff.
I would have occasional things of assigned seating, and it would always just loose it up and just end up not being there.
More common, we got the sleeper. Now, that was me. I was the sleeper, but you know the type. Head pressed against the window, mouth wide open, completely zonked out despite the noise and chaos. They mastered the art of ignoring the world, catching Z's in positions that defy both logic and comfort. Bus hits a pothole or straight up rear end somebody, they don't flinch. They are still out cold. You kind of almost admire their commitment to
I'll never forget.
When that Overwatch 2 and fentanyl hits like shit.
Oh. Is that?
I don't know who that is, but nah, I don't think so.
All right. I'll never forget bus ride to school.
Right.
It was freezing weather. Bus going straight. Feeling.
Right.
Folsom by the Kroger. Going all of a sudden.
It just started
sliding sideways.
Whoa.
Yep. And they still brought us to school. They should have just took me home.
Whoa.
Consciousness. It's beautiful. Only problem is that you know, sometimes they literally fall asleep past their stop if it's like on the way home after school. That's happened to me a few times where I have to be like woken up by the bus driver. He's
scary.
like, wake up. I'm like, my fault, man. I'll try to catch up on some sleep, and I
end up at the bus barn. I used to be scared of that. It never happened to me, though.
Guess who's back again with Gamer Subs? What's up, Chad? You might be asking how did Conor McGregor get here? You're asking too many questions. The boys over at InternetCity have teamed up with Gamer Subs. If you go to gamersubs.gg/InternetCity right now, you can get 10% off. I'm talking flavors like raw meat, guacamole, gamer fart. And these two right here, we got the nuclear section and chug juice. You either go, or I'm gonna go with you. Guess who's back again?
Never caught up on that sleep.
The numbers. What are they saying? Reznov! Where are you? Reznov!
I'm sure there's gonna be some stories in the comments of kids who slept through the bus and they like weren't found in time. So
Cheats, I don't think you realize you look like you kind of bouncing on it right there. That little animation you got. It don't look like you talking. It look like you bouncing on it.
After everyone got off at school, the kid was still there back at the bus driver wherever they keep the buses. If that happened to you, let me know. We also got the seat hoggers who act like they paid for first class tickets. They spread their bags, jackets, legs, random items across the seats like they're claiming territory. If you ask if you can sit, they give you a look.
Now, if you ask if you could sit, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Most people just wouldn't ask, though.
That, like, you know, you just ask for their SSN or something. It's the school bus, not a VIP lounge. Relax. It seems like the middle of the bus was the most normal spot.
Yep.
You really just had guys trying to get by, you know, stay out the way. You know why they got sidewalks, right? Because the streets ain't for everyone. These guys would walk on the sidewalk. They're just normal people. They're not too close to the chaos of the back, but far enough from the front to avoid the cringeworthy driver chats. They're in the neutral zone, where the socially awkward and semi-normal coexist in a relative peace. But don't get too comfortable. There's always a risk of catching a stray comment or some shit talking from the back.
You don't think it's weird?
I just realized I was more of a middle of the bus person, especially with like football trips or field trips but my particular route, I just realized I was the back of the bus kids. We just wasn't like rowdy. We was laughing and joking. It's because my neighborhood had a lot of us. So like the bus route was mainly my neighborhood, the neighborhoods down Highway 105, which it wasn't a lot of other people, and then a couple other stops. We was the majority, so we knew everybody. So it was kind of like,
it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. Yeah.
Weird to fuck 16-year-olds.
It's weird, but they're so hot.
What? Shut up with your feminism. Yeah, come here. Come here. That's what you need.
Of course, I gotta mention the bus driver themselves. You know, some days they're driving like they got a death wish, hitting every fucking pothole, like they're going for extra points. Other days, they're cruising so slow, you'd swear they're sightseeing, you know, trying to not get you home as soon as possible. That's the worst, when in the morning, they get to school extra.
You know what I hated? Because my bus was never in the same spot after school. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be so real with you. I did not know my bus number.
I knew the niggas that was getting on that bitch.
Oh. So I'd be looking, I'd be like, where the fuck my bus at?
Mine was generally in the same spot, but when it wasn't, it was like, wait a minute. Wait, where is she? No.
And bro, I looked for that bus eventually, but I ended up routing it out. Feel me?
Right.
Nigga, I start getting on other buses. The other bus driver was like, you can't find your bus? I'm like, hell no. I'm like, all right, bro. No, bro. After a while, I was just getting cool with people. I was like, hey, bro, I don't know what my bus is. It was like, you know your bus number? I was like, hell no. Where you going? Awesome.
This thing here, bro. Nah, ours. I don't know if y'all went to big schools or not, but like 5-8. Well, in Texas it's called 5. The big schools, it's so many fucking buses, and it's just two. It's not 3 or 4. It's 2 lanes, and them bitches is from full. They the full width of the school, bro.
Yep.
They from the front to.
And remember, like at Brook, they used to go a little bit out too.
Yeah.
Towards the street. But I used to hate it. And then when I moved over to 105, bro, that was the worst one. I had to get on that bus. I couldn't finesse like the other buses because, you know, the other buses that's inside Beaumont or in the West End, they all kind of go the same. But, man.
That's the one I was on. We on the outside. We on the outside, bro. Yeah.
Quick. And when they're taking you home, they are extra slow. You're either holding on for your dear life or wondering when you're going to need to walk the last mile. They're unfazed by everything from the fights to the loud music.
Ain't 6A a newer thing?
We was 5A.
Because 5A was the top when we was in school. Yeah, and then the school we went to, I believe, is a 6A now. Yeah, it gotta be. It's a 6A now. But it was a 5A back then.
Yeah.
The kid who's having a meltdown in the front seat, you know, they've seen it all and they've clocked out mentally long before you even got on. Really years before you even got on. They've been doing this oftentimes for a while. They say it's not their first rodeo. And then on the ride home, you know, it's at that point everyone's wound up from the day. That weird smell has intensified and the bus has turned into a rolling zoo. The same chaos just turned up a notch. And in the summer, forget it. The bus becomes a sauna on wheels. The windows barely open. Everyone's sweating like they're on.
You taking summer school classes?
Spring and the beginning of the school is in summer. The fall semester is summer. And then we get out in May. That's
the sun, and you've crammed in with 40 other kids trying to survive the ride home in like 100-degree heat. It's a miracle that any of us ever made it. Who else do we got? Who did I not mention? Oh, the hot Cheeto girl, obviously. I mean, that's more of a person you encounter in school, but she's in the bus for sure. Her parents are not driving her to school, bro. You think they want to deal with that shit? Hot Cheeto girl's munching away at 7 a.m. Her breakfast consists of flaming hot Cheetos, and it's somehow the crunching in her mouth is louder than the shit that the dude's playing on the speaker in the back. But even worse than that is the comments that she makes, like, oh, period. And it's like, bro, we haven't even started first. Why are you talking about period? You know what's kind of
funny? The food thing reminded me. When you realize you still got a little bit of free will. Because it's like, you know, you start off trying to be, I gotta hurry up, eat my breakfast. I gotta hurry up for this. And then one day you finally late, and you're like, I can eat this on the bus. Oh yeah, I can eat this on the bus. And you're like, oh, I can do this. Oh,
I ain't gonna lie, bro. It took me my sophomore, junior year. No, towards the end of the sophomore year to really kind of like figure myself out. And like figure out like me in the space. So like end of sophomore through senior year, I was cool.
Yeah. I think junior and senior year, that's when I kind of figured it out. And then the second spring of junior year is when I got my car. Best feeling ever.
Can't relate.
But nigga, driving to school is the best because you're pulling up.
I wanted to so bad.
That's when you really realize you got free will. Because then senior year, I had a crush on somebody, and we used to take turns to stopping and getting donuts from a place by the school, and it was, it didn't turn into nothing, but it was just like, oh, this is cool. I'm doing trading donuts with a woman.
Girls are very loud. They're very annoying. It's like she's fueling up for the day on pure MSG and artificial coloring, leaving behind those iconic red fingerprints on everything she touches. It's great. It's awesome. I love going to a seat knowing immediately who it was occupied by before me. You also had like random fights that would break out on the bus. Those were amazing when people would start yelling at each other and it would escalate into a fight. Bro, how are you gonna fight on the bus, man? Like, at least wait till you're like not on the bus. I could have worded that better, but you get the idea.
You kind of mentioned it, but you can't forget the freaks, bro. Yeah. I never forget this girl I knew in the neighborhood. She didn't seem like the type. It was a thug from the neighborhood over. When I say a thug, I mean like it was one of them. Why do you live over here? Yeah. How do you live? It's because his family had moved on up, I guess, and like he was the most thuggish of his sibling group. It was like 3 of them. He was the most thuggish one. We on the bus one morning, in the morning, mind you. Next thing you know, he chilling like this. Her head disappeared. We put 2 and 2 together. It was some stuff happening. I was like, oh, not her. No! That would hurt. Not with him. That would hurt too. No! It didn't hurt me because I didn't like her, man. But it was, you wouldn't expect her to do it and not with him. You would expect him to do something with somebody. But it was like, oh, man.
It's like, what the hell are we doing? Like, bro, get to school before you fight. And then I think for the most part, the rest of the people on the bus were pretty normal. But yeah, it smelled bad. Bad people. But, some normal people on there. Yeah, so that's it. That's the school bus experience and all of its chaotic, loud, and sometimes stinky glory.
Video cheeks, man.